29 times more than the average rain leaves Mumbai struggling. Red alert warns of heavy rain tomorrow. Schools and colleges will be shut. Trains, flights and road traffic takes a big hit. Where's maximum city's infrastructure, asks Mumbai. But in the midst of the deluge, humanity is alive. Mumbaikars open homes, Ganesh pandals and gurudwaras offering help to those stranded. Good evening, I'm Natasha Jog. You're watching The Buck Stops here on a day Mumbai will remember for a long time. The city was deluged today and each minute, many Mumbaikars told us, was a struggle. That as the city saw rains of 29 times the average. There are alerts and warnings for tomorrow as well. Flights and trains are very badly affected. Road traffic also came to a virtual halt. In fact, we are hearing of people still out there stuck in traffic and fear that they could be spending the night out there on the roads as well.
Madam, if I come this side, please, you can go from here, just go from here.
There's a gutter here?
No, there's no gutter here, come.
How do I go?
Come, you just come here, yeah. Walk straight.
There's no gutter because there was a gutter earlier.
No, there's no gutter here, you just walk
that?
straight. There is a little thing here, just don't trip.
1 second.
Just don't trip.
Where?
Yeah, you'll see, yeah. Can you feel the platform?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you
From
so
where have you been walking?
From Lower Parel station, I came from my office and the driver had to go because they were not allowing the vehicle, so I decided to walk.
So you got out the vehicle and had to walk because the driver wouldn't go?
No, the driver was not allowed to go by the police.
The fear of 2005 came back to haunt Mumbai today. In a span of 9 hours, the city received 300 millimeters of rainfall. That's 27 times the normal rain in a day. Across the length and breadth of India's business capital, flooded streets, massive traffic jams, cancelled flights and trains delayed or stopped altogether.
What you see behind me are the almost invisible railway tracks of Mumbai's vast suburban railway network. This is the Bandra station where trains have come to a grinding halt.
As it continued to rain, offices shut early and people tried to get to safety. Perhaps some of the worst affected were patients at the KEM hospital in Parel, one of the low-lying areas of the city, with people wading through flooded corridors. As the city coped, questions for the BMC, with many Mumbaikars asking, where has all the money given for desilting and sewerage meant to prevent flooding gone? The Chief Minister took the lead, trying to ensure the city stayed afloat.
लोगों को मैं फिर एक बार इतना ही यहाँ पर निवेदन करना चाहता हूँ कि बहुत आवश्यक काम हो तभी लोग घर से बाहर निकले, अन्यथा घर से बाहर नहीं निकले. लोगों ने हमारे ट्रैफिक एडवाइजरीज को देखकर ही रास्तों के ऊपर निकलना चाहिए, अन्यथा रास्तों में भी वो अटक सकते हैं.
As the rains showed no signs of stopping and Mumbai's streets turned into rivers like this, Mumbaikars made desperate bids to get back home, sometimes wading through these streets and sometimes trying to hop onto any mode of transport they could find. While the city's citizens opened up their homes to those stranded and stood by each other in this hour of need, the question is who and what about the administration? Because these questions have been asked in the past after a deluge and will be asked again. But what is the administration doing and how could they tackle situations like this better? With camera person Sanjay Mandal, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And that's our special focus on the Buck Stops here tonight. Let me introduce my special panel. Milind Deora of the Congress is with us. In the studio, Randeep Kumar Rana, DIG Operations of the NDRF. Also joined by TV host and anchor Mini Mathur. Thanks all for taking our time to be with us. Milind, while I introduced you as the head of the Congress, speaking to you, of course, this evening, first and foremost, as a citizen of Mumbai, describe to us your first thoughts as the parallels were made with 2005. People, of course, describing it as a terrifying downpour and more.
Well, I don't think it's an unfair comparison for people to make. 2005 caught Mumbai unaware, caught the authorities completely unaware. It was 12 years ago. Times are very different in terms of, the average citizen's access to communication tools, to social media, for instance. But what I thought the authorities would have learned, and I remember I was a member of parliament in 2005. I was a one-year-old member of parliament at the time. And I remember a standard operating procedure being put in place, which would allow for all authorities, central government authorities, state government authorities, municipality, to coordinate in the event of a massive downpour like we've seen today. Unfortunately, none of that has been followed. So right now, what we're talking about, when I'm watching television, looking at Twitter, I'm seeing, different authorities, chief minister, etc., coming out and saying, this is what people need to do. This is when the railway lines are going to be restored, etc. This shouldn't have happened in the first place. The reason there's a problem today is that people are stranded. People can't get home. People had a nightmare trying to get home. And unfortunately, what happened was that it wasn't until 2 p.m. or so that Mumbaikars realized that there's a problem. It's raining non-stop. There's flooding in different parts of the city, and that offices should shut early. By the time offices began to shut down, it was 3:30 or 4, and that was around the time that the government formally made an announcement that people should try and get home without panicking. And it was till about 5 or 6 p.m. that the state government decided, and the chief minister, I think, tweeted that schools will be shut tomorrow. So clearly there was a lack of planning. There was a lack of preparedness. There was a lack of response. And that's what I think is angering people and frustrating them. That, on the other hand, with the fact that people don't know who to hold accountable, which is something I've been seeing for a long time in Mumbai city and perhaps in other metros in this country, that most Mumbaikars, for instance, don't even know who the city's mayor is. If you went out and did a poll, maybe 1 in 100 people would be able to name the city's mayor. And as a result of that, people don't know who runs Mumbai city. They don't know whether to hold the chief minister accountable, whether to hold their local MP, MLA or municipal councillor responsible, whether to hold the police department accountable. And as a result of that, there's no accountability in our system. So what I've been advocating for a long time as a solution, not to politicize this debate at all, is that a city like Mumbai, which contributes so much to the state exchequer, to the central exchequer by way of taxes,
why isn't more done? Right.
Powers and deserves to have a directly elected mayor, who the people of Mumbai will know who that mayor is and can hold accountable every 5 years.
Fair enough. Accountability is a good point. We did have someone, we wish we had someone, from the BJP, from the Sena this evening. But the focus, Mini, of course, has been on the fact, the point that is making is on accountability. At the same time, this kind of rain has been described over and over again as unprecedented, as extraordinary. But do you believe that more could have been done, perhaps better warning systems in place?
The problem with this, Nasha, is that everything happens in our city in retrospect. So when you have the government response in place, it comes way too late, after we've already bared the downpour and we've already done with it. The point is, it's always then down to the blame game. Now, schools have been declared shut for tomorrow, but the point is that the worst is already over. So this knee-jerk reaction to close schools has happened in response to the lack of response for today. So not only are we lost today in, like Milind said, the commercial capital of today, it's also going to be, a complete dead loss tomorrow. True. So accountability is a big thing. And I think I'd just like to add here that, much has been said about, this being the maximum city and the big great Mumbai spirit that really sees everything through. The point is, it's going to crack someday. And today, all day, we've only been going round and round on various social media chat groups trying to tell people where they can go to get water and chai and, you know, all of this, when actually the government and, you know, the BMC should have put out all these notices and they should have made all these arrangements. You know, it's kind of, yeah.
Fair enough. The big heroes, of course, have been the city, have been the people of the city of Mumbai. We're going to just get into the point of the debate, but before that, I'd just like to get Mr. Rana in. So for all those who are watching, and just sort of the point when he's making that tomorrow, of course, schools are shut, colleges are shut, but what should people be doing? We're getting a lot of viewer feedback from people saying that what should we do if we're just caught in the rain? Those who are stuck right now on the streets and are worried that they might just be spending all night out there.
Yeah, Natasha, as of now, 5 teams of NDRF are already in the city. 5 are on the way. These 5 have been moved keeping in the forecast only, because there is no requirement as of now. But even if more rains are there and if more teams are required, we have moved the teams in advance. And for the people, because they are the biggest sufferers. And from our experience of the past, the maximum amount of loss is basically due to collapse of old houses, or to escape from the rain, people usually take shelters by the side of some wall. The wall collapses incidents are there.
So don't do that, but just be careful where you're standing, just
and,
be alert.
Another the major incidents which happen in such scenario is electrocution, because lot of loose wiring is there, and since wiring is underwater, so people are not aware. Yeah,
and of course, and of course, those open potholes, those manholes,
potholes definitely. If people move on the road, because it is almost moving blindly, because roads are covered with water, and potholes
people
are definitely they cause accidents.
We sort of experienced that firsthand. Our crews were approached by people there on the streets who said that, you know, help us reach the pavement because we don't know where the potholes are. So Sudhir Mishra, you're also joining us now. The state of our cities, we've been talking about the neglect of our cities, our dying cities. Now we're talking about Mumbai, the richest civic body in the country, and the focus has been on all these hundreds of crores that has been spent. But clearly, today it seems to be just very poor spending. Of course, people want to know where the money has gone, but there are no clear answers, are there?
As far as I'm concerned, the city has been cracking apart for the past 30 years. You know, I remember coming in 1982, 83 and walking, you know, knee deep in Baikala. You know, all the low-lying areas every year used to get flooded. I think Mr. Milindwara is talking about a special something for Mumbai, but I think you need a minister for Mumbai. I mean, you know, Mumbai handles, I mean, the population has grown, the infrastructure is cracking. You can't, there is a great need to concentrate. It also looks after so many of us who are migrants, right? I mean, who have left our homes and made this our home, and the city looks after us in a great way. And I think the city deserves a much better attention from the center and from the powers that we hear that, you know, the infrastructure really needs a real total overhaul, because otherwise every year we'll discuss this. I went to work today and I came back from work. So, I mean, that's the spirit of Mumbai, whatever, and I have to do it, so I did it.